The late Robin Williams' iconic character of Mork from Ork first appeared in an episode of Happy Days in February of 1978. The episode was called My Favorite Orkin and was a bit of a take on the 1960s TV show My Favorite Martian. Robin Williams' zany portrayal of the alien was so good that he was immediately offered his own show shortly afterward. But did you know that he wasn't even the first choice to play that part? He wasn't even the second. In fact, the only reason he got the part was because the two other actors backed out right before the episode was going to be shot. Who were they? Find out in this episode of I Did Not Know That.
I did not know that.
Two actors who turned down the role of Mork from Ork. Putting an alien in a comedy show set in the 1950s seems to be a strange concept. Oddly enough, the idea came from Jerry Paris, one of the show's directors. Jerry is probably best known as Rob Petrie's dentist neighbor on The Dick Van Dyke Show. They had done a fantasy episode called It May Look Like a Walnut, where Rob dreams aliens are taking over the planet. Another thing that helped inspire the Mork episode was the producer of Happy Days, Gary Marshall. Marshall had an 8-year-old son who loved Star Wars and had been asking his dad to put a spaceman on his TV show. On a little side note, here's a piece of trivia you might not know. Marshall could sometimes be seen in the background playing the drummer in Potsy's rock band. When the writers were told of the idea of putting an alien on Happy Days, they were horrified. It seemed like a terrible idea. In fact, just a year earlier, they had to write the infamous episode where Fonzie had to jump a shark. From that point on, whenever a show started to go bad, people would say, "It's jumping the shark." So, who was the first actor cast to play Mork? This well-known actor had been doing comedy for years. While he appeared in many bit parts in films and TV shows in the 1960s, audiences got to know him better when he began appearing in comedy sketches on The Dean Martin Show. After that, he appeared in many films made by Mel Brooks. Later, he became friends with Burt Reynolds and appeared in many of his films. Have you figured it out? It's Dom DeLuise.
Ta-da!
He was the original choice for Mork and in fact was cast in the role. But for some reason that has never been made public, he backed out the week before they were going to shoot the episode. While DeLuise seems like a strange choice now, after reviewing some of his old clips, I see what they were going for. He had a manic energy and zaniness that it appears they were looking for.
Very superficial. You said it! I know it!
While nowhere near the comic genius of Williams, he might have brought a bit of the craziness and unpredictability to the role.
You say it like you're proud!
But I have to say, I think if he had done it, while it might have been somewhat amusing, it would have been soon forgotten.
No. Yes!
The next choice for the role of Mork I found very odd. This English actor wasn't known for doing comedy, and it wasn't until the 1990s that many American audiences even knew who he was. That started when he began to appear as a character on Cheers. He later appeared in the Mel Brooks film Robin Hood, Men in Tights. That actor was Roger Reese, probably better known for playing Robin Colcord on Cheers. I've never seen him in anything that would make me think that he would have made a great alien. I think most likely he would have created a totally different type of Mork character. Maybe a more snide and sinister one. But he also bowed out the week before filming. On the Wednesday before filming the episode, they still had no one, and time was running out. At this point, they were pretty desperate. It was then that they decided to try a bit of an unknown but up-and-coming stand-up comedian with almost no acting experience. No, it was not Robin Williams. This comedian later became well known for his rather neurotic and self-depreciating humor. Ironically, he appeared years later with Roger Reese in Robin Hood, Men in Tights. Have you figured it out? It was comedian Richard Lewis. Lewis was brought in at the same time as Williams, and they auditioned together. Lewis gave it his best and gave the character of Mork a Danish accent. Apparently it wasn't working, and he knew he was not in the same league as Williams. When he was finished, to his credit, he said that Robin Williams was Mork. So, how did an unknown comedian like Robin Williams end up auditioning for the role of Mork? Producer Gary Marshall's sister Ronnie was taking acting classes, and she told her brother about this guy in class who was hilarious and even did a comedy bit about a spaceman. As you now know, by this time they were pretty desperate to find their Mork and thought they'd give him a tryout. It's been said that word quickly spread through ABC that Williams' rehearsals were so good that by the end of the week, ABC executives were attending them and quickly offered him a spin-off series. Gary Marshall was later quoted as saying that Robin Williams got the role because he was the only alien that auditioned for the part. Of course, no one can top Robin Williams, but who do you think might have made an interesting Mork at the time? Some names that come to mind might be Jim Carrey, Andy Kaufman, or Christopher Lloyd. Give me some of your suggestions below. Well, that's it for this episode. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.